of Public Prosecutions and the leadership of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission will this morning appear before the Finance Committee in the ongoing probe on a petition for the removal of the Auditor General Edward Ouko. Now, DPP Keriako Tibiko cleared Ouko of abuse of office allegations, saying there was no evidence alluding to the charges and other issues concerning him. Ouko was accused of engaging in a project without prior planning and willfully failing to comply with procurement laws. On Wednesday, he moved to court in a bid to block his removal from office. He argues the bid for his removal was flawed and inadmissible and that it was unfair. Is our top story this morning. We are putting special focus on that, and like I mentioned today, that the DPP and the leadership of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is this morning expected to appear before that Finance Committee in that ongoing probe of that petition. So let's just link up with my colleague Patrick Amimo, joining us from our City Centre studio. Thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us on News Centre this morning. So the issue really has, for the last couple of weeks, been the evidence. Today, as the DPP appears before the committee and especially the EACC, are they coming in with new evidence? Because that really has been what the committee, has been waiting for.
Thank you, Betty. This particular morning, we expect the Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Edward Ouko, to come and give evidence before the committee on why the Commission feels that the Auditor General, Edward Ouko, should be prosecuted over misappropriation of funds or not following procurement procedures at the department while procuring an audit vault software worth 100 million shillings. There was a petition that was brought before a whistleblower brought the matter before the Principal Secretary in Treasury last year. And that's when the PS Treasury referred the matter to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate whether the National Audit Office had abused office and also failed to follow the procurement law when purchasing that software, because the whistleblower claimed that the software was worth 18 million shillings, but the Audit Office ended up purchasing it at 100 million shillings. It's a matter that now the Ethics Anti-Corruption Commission will have to defend its stand before the National Assembly Finance, Planning and Trade Committee. This particular matter went, when the Anti-Corruption Commission brought its report on investigations to the DPP decided to say that there was no sufficient evidence to warrant the prosecution of Edward Ouko, but instead it found some 8 officers in the National Audit Office culpable of having gone against the procurement laws. It's a contentious issue, and we saw the auditor Edward Ouko himself say that this is a witch hunt mission. And we've also seen that he's moved to court yesterday when through his lawyer, Otiende Amolo, he wants the court to certify these matters urgent and stop National Assembly from proceeding with these particular hearings and maybe even discussing the matter before the House, because he feels that it's unfair. He's not been given that fair chance to defend himself. He does not know who his accusers are, because the lawyer who brought this particular petition before the National Assembly, that is Emmanuel Mwagambo, says he was doing it on behalf of his clients, but he did not disclose to the committee who the clients were. That's why we saw a section of the MPs say that lawyer Mwagambo was in a witch hunting, was in a fish expedition exercise, and his petition was malicious. Before the matter was before the courts, and the courts did expedite the matter, but then he went up pursuing the matter further and brought it to the National Assembly. Betty?
So where exactly are we in this particular case? I mean, it cannot go on forever. So how long are we looking at before, everything really comes to a solid either accusation that will warrant his removal from office, or, the other option, which is really to have him stay in office because there's really no sufficient evidence to criminalize him?
Yes, this is a constitutional office. It's an independent office, and under Article 251 of our Constitution, if you have to remove the Auditor General, any independent commissioner, then it means that there must either a gross violation of the Constitution, misconduct or abuse of office. So those are the threshold has to be high. And we saw from the report of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the detectives said they did not find any any evidence or the accounts of the Auditor General when they investigated to see whether he pocketed some money from these particular transaction that involved the audit software. But then some junior officers in the department were found to have benefited from that particular procurement of the audit vault register. So in the House, this particular committee has been given 21 more days. We expect by the end of this month they'll have their report ready, indicating whether there is sufficient evidence to warrant a tribunal being formed to probe this particular matter further, or if there will be no sufficient evidence, then the committee is also at liberty to throw away the petition. So this matter we expect before the end of this month, the committee will come up with a report, table it before the House for members to debate and decide on the fate of the Auditor General Edward Ouko, who has faced some stiff challenge with a section of people in Jubilee wanting him out of office because of the way his office has been exposing the government, both at the national government and county government. We also remember last year we saw the Auditor General also face opposition from MPs when when his report on the use of CDF showed that there was misappropriation of funds. Betty?
Right, thank you very much, Patrick Amimo, for the details there. Like he mentioned, the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is today expected to appear before the Finance Committee to sort of like give evidence on this petition to make or to remove the Auditor General Edward Ouko out of office, and we'll be following up that keenly